Nice to see you, James, again. Nice to put a face to the name and to meet you officially.
Likewise.
I know you've been a client of Gemeos for a little bit now. When you were looking at like getting a service like this, were you looking at other robot companies, or what was kind of the path that led you to where you are now?
You are the probably the fifth robot company that I have used. I have four or five robots running, including yours right
Oh
now.
wow. I didn't know that you had a
So,
lot, yeah.
so basically, some of the your competitors, I'm actually running them. When I talk to your salesperson, I kind of know what you guys offer, and then once I dug a little bit into it, I kind of know what you guys do, and so I didn't hesitate to sign up. And then in fact, the way you have it set up, it's almost identical to one of your, I don't want to say competitors, your peers. And even though I cannot see a lot of the trades manually, but I was able to install a MT5 on a Windows virtual machine, so I can
Gotcha.
see the trades that you guys do.
Yeah, you can see
Uh,
it all now, right? Just by logging into the
yeah,
MT5.
yeah.
Beautiful.
And for some reason, Ox Securities MT, their MT4, MT5 software on the phone, it's hard for me to see what's going on. In
Hmm.
fact, if you don't mind, I'll just quickly show it to you.
Ox
Yeah,
Securities app or that MT5 app?
yeah, Ox, yeah.
Which one? Is it MT5 or is it Ox Securities?
So if you take a look at my phone, right,
Yeah.
there is an MT5 app here,
Yeah.
but Ox no longer supported. So I cannot configure that app to talk
Yeah.
to an Ox Securities account. I have to
Hmm.
use this one instead.
Yeah.
And this one is an Ox Securities an app on the phone.
Yeah.
And if I look at the Gemeos, I have this particular account that's running Gemeos right now. Is it's a bit of a loss, which is I'm not too worried,
Yeah, we're
but
in a like a 2 to 3% drawdown today on Euro GBP.
not a big deal.
Yeah.
But it's not like you can see a nice chart. It's hard for you. This app is unfortunately not very good. It's
Not as nice
hard
as MT5, eh?
not as nice as
Yeah.
MP5. And then I talked to Ox and tried to get them to let me configure it to use the native MT5 app. No,
Yeah.
so I ended up having to use it for the Mac, and then the
Gotcha.
Mac has also not it's Windows, and it's kind of
Okay.
better, so I can see charts better, and I can trade better. I mean, I don't really
Yeah.
touch it, but just let the robot do its thing.
Yeah,
Right.
super nice on desktop. It
You
is
know.
convenient to be able to look at it on the app, though. Unfortunately, the MetaTrader 5 app, Ox Securities doesn't pull up in that little drop down for when you search for broker names. That's why I
You are
always work on
exactly
the
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
You
mean,
use the
in
Ox
fact,
app, which is not as good as MetaTrader, but then the
yes,
MetaTrader on the desktop is super nice. You can see everything
right.
there. You can
In
also
fact,
log into the Ox Securities website and just go to trading accounts, and then you can
mhm,
go to trading history. You can also
mhm.
see open and closed trades there, but you're obviously going to get a more live view by looking at it on the MetaTrader. Right.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
the Windows computer. So I've been relying on that, and I kind of taught myself to do that to try to learn more as much as I can. You guys are the fifth bot company that I'm using. It
Gotcha.
so far doesn't trade very often. On
Not
most
every
days
day.
there are trades, but there are some days there's just no trades.
Mhm.
And I'm actually quite surprised with how selective Gemeos is in terms of choosing to go into trades. And then since I'm on a conservative setting, it doesn't do a lot of trades, and then the returns are very decent. I'm actually quite happy with it. I plan to run it for, right now it's not even 1 month yet.
Mhm.
If I can run it for 2, 3, 4 months, and if even 6 months, that it has been pretty steady, not so much drawdown and decent returns. To be perfectly frank, I'm happy with 2, 3% a month. Right? If you can do 5, 6, 7, you're my kind of
Mhm.
guy. So I'm hoping to that it continues to this steady growth, and eventually I will make this 10 times my account size, so that
Yeah. So add more to it once you basically letting it prove the concept to you, right? With your own eyes, kind of thing.
right,
That's
right,
the
yes. I
smartest way
mean,
of doing it too.
right. I mean, I look at FX book, and your FX book obviously is good. It's got an excellent history,
Mm.
but past
History
history
doesn't
doesn't.
promise future, right?
Right. Yes. No,
The
not
least we
really.
can do is do our best to get close to how we've performed to
Yeah.
date, right?
Right. And then
Every year is going to be different. So is every month. But at least historically, we have months of just a few percent, but the bulk of our months are 5, 6, 7, 8% on that lower setting. And we do have months that are double digits, like over 10%, but they're less frequent. And then the months where we only do a couple percent are also less frequent. So it kind of balances out around the 5, 6, 7% a month average. So, and then in terms of getting set up, like if you, especially since you have so many bots, if you compared the copy trading that with the Gemeos versus setting up the robots, like the other stuff, is it easier or was it more difficult to set up a copy trade?
Gemio is way easy,
Way
right? You
easier
just, yeah. I mean, almost hands-free. You just need to provide the login information to the broker, to you guys.
to the
And I don't even have,
MT5, right? Not the
yeah, to
broker.
MT5,
Yeah,
yeah.
just the
And then
MT5.
just MT5, just
Yeah,
the account itself. So you cannot extract money from the account. You can
correct.
trade on it,
Yeah,
and which is fine, right? But so I don't mind you guys trade on it, and so far you guys have been doing a good job, and it's super easy compared to the other bots. Some of the other bots I
right.
have to set up MT5 or MT4 on Windows, and then set up a VPS. And VPS is a virtual machine that actually costs money per month
Yeah.
to run. Look, I'm
And you have
okay
to
with
watch
that.
over it too, right?
Yeah, and
Yourself,
every week,
essentially.
you can watch it, and every week, on a Friday afternoon, once the market's closed, it's recommended that I close the MT5 software, reboot the machine,
Hmm.
and then run MT5 again. You
Right.
don't have to, but it's recommended. So that's some hands-on that you have to do. There are
Nothing crazy. Yeah.
different
Sounds good.
different brokers or different bots have different requirements.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even have another bot that I have to turn it on every day, but it works. So every day I don't mind waking up at 6:20 Pacific time to
Yeah.
open it up ready for trading the next day.
Yeah. That makes
And
sense.
then and at the end of the day, I'm just trying to diversify. So I have a few bots going, and I made a mistake of putting in too much money for in a particular bot, and I lost some money.
Mm.
But overall, for me, I've learned to kind of gradually increase my holdings on my account size for a particular bot as
Smart.
I see that it performs. So that's just how the game goes, right?
Yeah.
On some days this bot does well, on some days another bot does well. But overall, if they all kind of do their thing and then steadily grow. But so far, I found Gemeos to be the most stable, because it's not
Oh.
so much drawdown,
Okay.
and the trades seem to be pretty smart. I hope I
Mm.
don't jinx it because right
Yeah.
now we're in a bit of a drawdown, but
No.
but
Yeah.
hopefully it works itself out, and
Yeah.
then May turns out to be a good a month with 4 5, because we were already on 6 nearly 6% so far this morning,
Yeah,
right?
we're already up pretty good. You saying it was much easier, that's very good. And the thing, so basically what you're looking to do is just diversify some and then
Right,
kind of slowly inching your way into your account after having
right.
experience day trading yourself with these other robots, essentially working your way into it slowly, but finding ours to be the most consistent so far. It's stable and
So far,
intelligent at its trading decisions. So it is very intelligent. The other thing is, which I'm sure you're aware of, is that we intervene as well, right? Like manual intervention. A lot of these robots don't have human oversight. And I think that's where a lot of those companies go wrong, is because no matter how good right now in 2025, AI is pretty advanced, but it's not advanced enough to make emotional and psychological trigger decisions based on economic and sentimental factors, which also influence the markets, right? It's not just a chart, it's not just technical analysis. You do need a human there with experience trading to oversee things. And I think that's one of the things that helps
exactly.
sets us apart. And I hope you see that too with like the trades and the
And
choices that we're making with the trade decisions, right?
and you guys also have, I think, Telegram group that you keep us informed
Yeah,
of
right
what's
here
going on.
actually.
Yeah,
That Telegram
right.
broadcast channel.
I think that's very good because it keeps me, the client, knowing that
Let's see this.
it's still it's I know it's hard to see, but I
Yeah.
know
Yeah, the Euro
it,
GBP right now we're at like a 2% drawdown. It's actually a pretty normal drawdown, but normally most of our trades are closed within a few hours, which is fast and is great because that also adds to the safety level. But we always send the updates just in case, because if we have someone with no experience with day trading and they see even a 1 or 2 or a 3% or a 5% drawdown, they're not
they
familiar.
freak out.
We send the
Uh,
updates all the time.
yeah,
Just keep
right.
everybody updated in the loop.
One particular thing that you guys do, I think, very well is to keep your clients informed. For people in the know, people who are probably fairly new,
Yeah.
then they will feel more at ease. This is normal, right?
Yeah.
So what is our plan to go through this
Yep.
this, I don't want to say rough patch to many go through this. Most stock companies, they don't really do that. So you guys do this particularly well. That's why I think eventually, at least the plan is to really up the account size for, my account that is with Gemeos, so I can use the income to kind of retire, right? Because
Yeah.
right now my account size is still fairly small. You
Yeah.
just play money, right? But once,
Testing.
I believe, yeah, just testing it.
Testing money.
And overall, really, I do think, look, I'm not trying to say this to just to bother you up. This really is a very robust, and then I see you guys make intelligent decisions and also keep the
Thank you.
positions under control.
Yeah.
So, look, if you lose 1 or 2%, it's easy to get back. You just need 1 or 2
Correct.
or 2.5% to get back, which is fairly easy.
Yep.
If you lose 50%, you need to make 100% to get back. It's
Hmm.
hard to make 100%. It's
Yeah.
just tough. Yeah.
That's why all of our hard stops are below that, because 50 to 100%, no matter how much money you can make with a system or a robot or whatever, if you inevitably lose 50 to 100% of your money, none of the gains are worthwhile anymore, right? Because you just lost it all,
Right.
essentially.
Just lost it all.
So, but yeah, it's a very fine line and a very delicate balance of not just going for gains, but to keep risk in check. And I think this is where a lot of people struggle with trading, and even day traders that have experience could agree with this. It's not more so about the strategy, because there's a lot of strategies that work that can give you just a small edge over the market for you to be profitable. It's then sticking to your risk management and making sure you don't over leverage or revenge trade when you do lose, because that's when you go to zero. And that's another thing these robots don't. You can't really program AI for it yet. Maybe in like 2030 or 2040, we can. And that'd be pretty cool, because then I could take a step back, and when we have like a drawdown that goes above a few percent, and then one of us has to intervene just to kind of make sure. Because if we're going to go, because on the high risk setting, we actually had almost a 20% drawdown last month or the beginning of this month. And I had to intervene manually just to make sure, because the high risk setting, 20% drawdowns is pretty high. So I had to intervene, jump in there, kind of monitor everything. I started to actually slowly enter positions manually. Once I started to find a lot of really solid key levels, and a lot of resistance was starting to happen at these certain key points, the algorithm wasn't opening up. It wasn't doing what a human could do, or what I think I could do at that point, right? And even with our algorithm, which is connected to an external database, and it's actually pulling economic and sentiment factors from the markets, right? That's why it's so selective. It's not just looking at the charts. It's also getting information about news events, Trump, sentimental factors, what the Dow, like all these other factors that are you can only get from outside sources, and then the manual intervention. So I had to intervene, and we ended up digging out a large chunk out of that drawdown on the high risk because of the manual interventions. So that's another huge key factor. I think it's needed for everybody, but not everybody does it. So
I cannot comment on other bot companies,
mm.
but from what I can tell, I mean, you guys certainly care enough about your clients' money. I hope your money is involved too,
Oh
so that
yeah, I got
you,
360K of my own money in the low risk setting.
right.
And
So
it's on the MyFX book as well. You can see Gemeos low risk master Kevin, and then I have a video where I log into my account, and it's also with the same broker you're using, and I show me logging in and looking at that account. So if you haven't seen that video, I can always send it to you. But I plan
yes,
on leaving,
please.
like that money's been there a while. I plan on leaving it. Like I'm never going to touch it. I'm just going to leave it forever, no matter how big it grows. So that way, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, people can be like, oh wow, like he's been with us this whole entire time.
So that's my plan too, is maybe not to 360, maybe to $200,000, but at a
That's a
steady
lot of
two,
money.
3, 5% a month, 5% a month on $200,000, 10 grand. And I think I can live on that,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
So, for most people that are thinking about retirement, I hope you have $200,000, right? Right. So you can
Yeah.
use that to retire. But
Even
having,
doing 1 or 2 points a month, right? Like with if you did the S&P 500 or maybe some real estate, you do need more than like 100,000 for a retirement to make sense to somebody, right? Especially nowadays.
I think you guys are doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
And as far as I'm concerned, I just need a little more time to then pump in more money. Then that's my retirement money. I mean, I'm still doing other things to
That's what
to
you
make
should
more
do as
money
well.
in trading, right? To
Yeah.
diversify.
You don't want to be all eggs in one basket, no matter how good or how safe it is. You just can't
Right.
ever predict the future, right? So that's the
Exactly.
smart way.
Just don't blow up your account. See, I used
Yeah.
to think strategy is the most important. If I can make money, money management comes later. But no,
Yeah.
money and risk management comes first.
hmm
That's
It's
what
true,
keeps
man.
you in the game. Like people go to casinos, they make a lot of money, and then they leave with zero. It's risk management, your money management.
Yeah.
That if you have no chips, you cannot play. You have to have chips in order to play. So
Yeah. You got to
I
protect
mean,
them chips.
but there are a lot of good traders, a lot of good poker players
Yeah.
that cannot play, cannot trade anymore because they ran out of money.
Yeah.
So number one is to protect your capital. Don't have capital, you cannot play the game. You're
True.
out. Go get a job. Right?
Yeah.
So protect your capital, and that's what I'm about. You want to protect your capital, so I'm happy to have you kind of manage my money, right?
Yeah. No, that's smart. And that's also super true, man. Very true. So I guess your goal essentially is just one's diversifying, two, being as smart as you can with the funds, right? Especially because you've already learned a bunch of lessons about day trading and algorithms. If someone else that was brand new to this, you'd be a good person for them to listen to, right? Because you've kind of been through some stuff and you kind of have
Yeah,
a pretty decent understanding of how it all works.
right.
If you had
Uh,
someone that actually approached you in this like
yeah.
same scenario, what would you say to that person?
I would say that I've traded for 30 years on and off. Stocks, options, futures. I've seen there, done that, right?
Yeah.
Good, the bad, the ugly. I've done it before.
Mm.
Fortunately, I've only blown up a very small account one time, right? A
That's
$5,000.
amazing, actually.
Yeah. But for the most part, I have not blown up any account. When things don't go my way, once it's painful enough, I say, okay, let's cut the losses and move on. So yes,
Unplug
it,
instead of revenge.
yeah, yeah. Look, we as humans, the market will teach you a lesson or me a lesson. At some point, we will be wrong. At some point, if we were always right, you wouldn't be talking to me. You will be so rich,
We'd
right?
all be
So we,
billionaires for sure.
yeah, so we all make mistakes. And what people don't realize is trading is all about oneself, right? I know that when I was younger, I couldn't trade and make money and still manage my own emotions.
Mm.
So I don't trade. I didn't trade a lot. I made quite a bit of money trading in the past, but sometimes I give it back because I wasn't
Mm.
emotionally ready.
Yeah.
So now trying to utilize bots to trade my own money, to trade powerful money, because
Mhm.
I know the bots do a better job managing emotions because
Yes,
robots have no emotions,
correct.
right? And since Gemeos, you guys have experts like you managing the trades, you know more than me. I can sleep at night. You worry about your money and my money for you and for me. So I
Yeah.
can sleep, I can have a life. If I watch the charts, futures is on 24/7 for 5 days, 6 days. You can watch the charts as much as you want and try to make money basically around the clock. But I know myself, I could do that, but I will go crazy doing that.
Mm.
For me, is I need to know. I really do think everybody who is in trading needs to take a good look in the mirror and see what they can or cannot do, and then they
Very
will
true.
pick the best way for them to trade to make money. Now, for me, it's using robots or companies that know what they're doing. That's
Yeah.
genuine. I've come across robot companies that just don't do anything or
Yeah.
just let the robot just do martingale thing. Well, I can do
Mhm.
martingale. I don't need a robot to do
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
you find the best company that can do this for you. And if since you, Kevin, have your own money in it, I now trust you even more, right?
Yeah, I know that's a big
Maybe,
thing for people.
yeah. For most people,
If you're
if
so
I
confident in your system and how good it works, why aren't you invested, right?
exactly
Yep.
every time I talk to a new bot company, that's what I ask them. You got your own money in it,
Yeah.
and if they don't, that's a red flag,
Or if they
right?
beat around the bush with the answer, right? That's the other thing people like to do. They just won't give you a
Right.
straight yes or no answer. It's not hard.
It's like it's
If you're
like
being
it's like the
truthful, it's not hard.
yeah, it's like the politicians. You ask them a yes no question, they will say this and that. Look, it's a simple yes no question,
Yeah, circling
right?
around.
Right, circle around, and then we are not in politics here. We are not trying
This
to
is
help
business and you're serving people,
business,
right? You have
serving
to care
people.
and you have to do business the right way.
Yeah, you have to care about money. Now, if your own money is in it, you will care for it.
Oh yeah.
And I think since your money is in it, you will care for it, and
Yeah.
then you will actually do the right thing by it.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe I won't wait 6 months, maybe I'll wait 3 months and then put in 200K and then, that's rock and roll.
To
Having
your
said all
comfort
that,
level, right? Whatever amount of time
yes,
you need, there is no rush. And
no
the other
rush.
benefit is there's just that small monthly flat fee. So we're not, no matter how much money you invest in your trading account that's being copy traded, we're not taking a piece of it or asking for it or anything like that. So you get to take as much time as you want, feel it out and say, hey, you know what? It's been 6 months. I feel good now. Now I'm going to invest what I
Yeah.
originally wanted to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's what we like people to do. We don't want people to jump the gun and go crazy right out of the gate. And, if they join, here's the reality too. The probability is based on probability in day trading. Some people will inevitably join on a losing month. This is the reality. So people that are watching this interview, you might not want to hear that. But in the last 4 years, we've had one or two losing months, and one was more than like 12.5%. So you could join on that month. The thing is, you're still comparing this to a long-term investment, right? Even though we're day trading and the gains are impressive, it's still a long-term game, and there's still going to be ups and downs. So you could join on a losing month, and that's going to be a crappy first month. But if it's 10 or 15 or 20%, and we're doing, 5, 6, 7% a month on average, you're just now in a recovery window, which is normally 6 months or less. So every calendar year, even if it's a crappy year with a hard stop being hit, you're still going to be profitable if you're willing to be patient and wait for the investment to come to fruition, right? So even though it's day trading, a lot of people don't understand that, right? So I always try to shed light on the downside as well, as much as I do on the bright side, right? Because you can talk about the bright side and the ROI all day, but the downside and the risk side is actually, if not equally important, slightly more important for people to understand.
Right, because
You
it's
agree?
the drawdown periods that for most people is uncomfortable. Please, that is part of trading. If somebody tells you that our system never has a drawdown or has a very tiny bit of drawdown, they are lying to you.
Run the other
It's
direction.
impossible. If the system is so good that they barely have any drawdowns, they wouldn't be selling it to you. Period. They
Yeah,
will be so rich. If I had a system that has let's say a 0.5% drawdown and I make 5% a month, I am
that's
not
crazy.
selling to anyone,
No.
right? I will run my own hedge fund and I will be so wealthy just running that. I'll
Yeah.
be Bernie Madoff,
Yeah.
right?
People ask us actually that questions along those lines too. If your system is so good, why do you sell it? And to your lines, if it was the best thing in the world and we were guaranteed to be billionaires, we wouldn't sell it. And if we would charge a fee and we wouldn't give people access to the algorithm itself. And that's
Exactly.
why we do not. We do not give
Right.
people access to the Gemeos algorithms. We charge you for it. And then you're only allowed to copy trade. So you can connect your own account and have it copy trade off our master, but you're never allowed access to the master and you're never allowed access to the algorithm itself. That's way too valuable for us to sell off, right? Because I know a lot of these companies, they charge 30K, 50K, and then they sell you the license to the algorithm and then they're gone. They got your money and they're out of there. We charge a smaller fee than that for like the normal level of getting access to the copy trading, but never will we ever sell someone access to the actual algorithms themselves because they've taken a lot of time and effort to build. Can they make us
That
billionaires? Collectively together, right? Like with clients and everybody combined, yeah. But on our own, we can't give people access to the algorithm because then we're giving away the goat, right? Like we're giving away our proprietary thing that's making us money essentially, right? It's not to
it
say everyone that sells you the algorithm is a bad person or that their algorithm sucks, because I'm sure there's companies out there that give you the license and that the algos are actually good. And they might even have good like customer service and stuff. I can't speak on like the other people and what they would do. I just know how we operate. And I know that if someone was to offer me X amount of dollars for my algorithm, that now means other people are going to have access to it and they might start a business with it. Now it's a competitor. So even if they offered me a very large amount of money, I'm not really going to be tempted. You know what I mean? I'll let you copy trade off it for a fee, but I'm never going to sell you the license. I think that's
right.
one of the other things that sets us apart from a lot of the bot companies.
And not only that, you have somebody that has a vested interest in the well-being of the bot, the results, your own money, and you watch the account.
Yeah.
So that's the added benefit of no robots can provide. Like you said earlier, AI, artificial intelligence, is not there yet to
Not yet.
read through all the news to try to figure out what this news is going to impact the direction of the currencies,
Yeah.
right? So right now, we still need to have human to actually, for someone who knows, to read the news, to decipher and what to do.
Yeah.
And so I cannot stress enough on how valuable that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm glad that I'm on this interview talking to you, learning from you what really Gemeos is about.
Yeah.
I honestly think that you guys can do more of this to set you apart from the rest of the bots because I'm using 4 or 5 of them,
Yeah.
right? So I
Quite a
I
few.
kind of know this space. I've learned this much in this past year. The good, the bad, I've seen it all. So
Yeah.
some of the bot companies, you name them, chances are I've used them or I'm using them now. I mean, if you have any clients that you want or prospects that you want to help convince, and another thing too is I am a licensed home mortgage loan officer, and so I am nation. I have a license number, so
Nice.
I'm a real person, and somebody that's clever enough can find me, and
Yeah.
then they know where I work, what my phone number is, right? So I'm a real person. I cannot just come out and just say whatever
Yeah.
because I am not supposed to lie because I'm licensed.
Yeah.
And right, if I say anything untruthful, then people can, complain to the national mortgage registration. Then I won't have a license and I won't be able to make a living. Having said that, I think that shows that I have credibility when it comes to talk about
Yeah.
money about these bots because I've used quite a
Mhm.
few of them.
Yeah.
And so if you ever have any prospect that are on the sideline and you say, hey James, can you talk to this person? Sure, they can call me and I can even do like a 10-minute call with them and show them what systems I'm using and so hopefully help you get another deal.
Wow, that's really nice of you. I really appreciate that. We might definitely take you up on that, especially with the people that are they want to hear it not from the company selling them the stuff, right? They want to hear it from a customer, like a existing
That's
person who's on the other side of the fence. What's your
right,
opinion kind of thing? So, yeah, no, I
right.
appreciate that. Thank you. We'll
Yeah,
keep that in mind for
yeah,
sure.
and I'm a real person, and I can be found on the internet because of. I'm even happy to show them, hey, this is a website of at my bank, and this is me, right?
Yeah.
So, so I'm a legitimate person, and I say things that I'm just being responsible. I cannot, even skirt the truth, right? That's how
Yeah.
strict the mortgage license is.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Well, that's very good. I appreciate that, by the way. And I also appreciate you spending the time with me today on this call. I'm happy to have been able to give you some insight. I'm also happy to know of your background and what you've kind of been through over the last year and stuff like that. So, any questions you have as we move forward, obviously, you have me, my wife, and DeAndre in the chat to help you
Mm.
anytime. So just let us know anytime you have questions. And we're here to help, James.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on this call.
No
And
problem.
again, anytime that you need somebody to talk to your prospects, I'm happy to help.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All righty. Have
All
a
right.
good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Take care. Talk
Okay,
soon.
bye.